artist bullied off of X/Twitter for using AI art in parentheses. I saw this on Twitter. This was a shit show.
Holy cow, guys, this is bad. This is real
I'm
bad.
in the middle.
Well, guys, we've got some more issues coming out of Twitter. So the other day I was scrolling on my timeline, wasting my life away, and I came across this. Somebody posted, "This is insane. A legitimate artist bullied out of existence. For what reason?" And just like that, I was hooked, man. I was like, what is going on? At what point does this kind of stuff start to deserve actual consequences? This platform is so unbelievably hostile to artists at this point, I don't even know what to say. So this tea seemed to be boiling hot. Naturally, I wanted to find out more. So I click on this post, and apparently, this person on Twitter decided to make it.
I made an edit. I think they know nothing about art. When I first saw this and before it came out, I'm like, they're like, oh, I hate when people do this, trying to be like, you're AI. Wow, your anatomy's wrong. Your hands look weird. Your shading looks weird. People can make mistakes. Not everyone knows perfect anatomy. Like this is perfectly fine. Maybe they got some noodly arms, maybe a weird hand. This looks like a sketch too. This doesn't look like a finished piece. Or maybe, I don't know. But it just looks like a concept. They get the idea out. It looks perfectly fine. They're like, look, the ankle is broken. And all this could be marked as stylistic choices. You don't have to do perfect anatomy. Weak, oh wow, the shadow doesn't line up. This is ridiculous. There's a hole here. There's not line art.
An AI call-out post about another artist's work, and it resulted in this.
13K
so the artist
views on
deleted
that
their
post.
account. They're gone forever, and
That's
everybody's
sad.
big mad right now. You can see this post was
I'd
only
be
made a few
mad
days ago,
too.
and it's gotten
I'd be angry. I'd kill them.
8 million views. So this kind of blew up. And just before we dive into this issue, I shouldn't have to say this, but please don't send hate to anybody involved in this video. Let's all be decent human beings. So let's first take a look at the original post calling out the AI art. It says, "Can't unsee it," and these are all the points that kind of make this person suspicious that this piece might have been made from AI. Now, full disclaimer, I have no idea whether or not this artist actually used AI in their work, so just take my word with a grain of salt. I'm going to approach it from the standpoint of a bystander. Now, a lot of these points here that are shown on this image are just simple mistakes that an artist could actually make.
Exactly!
For example, the shadow on the knees, I understand it looks kind of weird, but again, that's a mistake that an artist could make. Push more on the skirt. What do you mean by that, you pervert? Now, here it says long on the forearms. First of all, the forearm is not long at all. Second of all, even if it was actually long on the forearms, this is a mistake that anybody could make.
Exactly.
Okay? You cannot expect every artist to be perfect. And a question mark next to the hand, yeah.
I feel like if anything, perfection would make it seem more like AI than not. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like a robot's more likely to go, oh, this is perfect anatomy, draw it, than someone who's learning things.
Agree, looks a little bit weird, you know, but again, this could be a stylistic choice. This other hand here, again, looks to me like a stylistic choice, and the ankle being broken, I don't think it's broken. I think, again, that's a stylistic choice. Now, some things that are a little bit weird is this random artifact on the front of the skirt.
That's a
now,
little
obviously,
weird.
we can't tell what it is because we're working with like 2 pixels, and also this hip right here that doesn't connect anatomically correctly to the body. And artifacts like those tend to be mistakes that an AI might actually make. But again, we can never know for sure. In today's day and age with the capabilities of AI, unless you get some sort of confirmation from the original artist about whether or not they actually used AI, you can never know for sure. So making a call out post like this,
I think the best thing to do to protect yourself as an artist is to make a time lapse. Just record your time lapse of your work, because no matter what you're doing, if you're big enough, someone's gonna go, actually, you've been cut. This is AI. You don't think you're fooling anyone, do you? No, I drew this. Here's a time lapse. And I understand a lot of people can also feel pressure of doing that. I don't like recording time lapses and stuff. I don't even remember to do it. Take screenshots of your work. Take screenshots of your work in progress. That's all we can do. And also, don't just jump to going, this is AI. This is AI. Maybe ask them first. Say, hey, not to be rude or anything, but we have to be skeptical now, you know? Like, this threw me off a bit, this little pixel here. Could you explain this? Do you have maybe a work in progress if you're really that pressed about it?
is the first
Or
issue.
you can just choose to block and move on if you think it's AI. I just punched my mic.
Actually, what this person did was they had a little bit of a suspicion. So like any other sane person, they decided to go in guns blazing, dropping bombs in an attempt to destroy this artist's career. And if you live in a free society, you should probably know that we should never just assume somebody is guilty.
Do you talk with your hands? I do talk with my hands.
So call-outs like this, no matter how convincing, I feel like are just done in bad taste. This new AI call-out stuff is just another manifestation of the cancer that is cancel culture. This absolutely idiotic idea that everybody is guilty until proven innocent. Now, just to form a more mature opinion, I decided to actually look.
We definitely need AI generators to be watermarks saying it's AI. Well, they're never gonna do that because no one's gonna buy that then. They're trying to sell real work. They're trying to sell stuff that looks good. They don't want you to know it's AI. They just want you to go, ooh, pretty picture.
Look into this a little bit deeper to see what more information I can
AI
get.
companies don't give a fuck about real artists or art. They just want to make quick money.
So in their final post, they said, over the past 3 years, I've finished drawing everything that I have in mind about Kanroji Mitsuri. It was a great honor to have so many people come and see it. Please forgive me for having kept silent up until now. I hope to meet you all again. As an artist, the account will be deleted at 7 p.m., which is honestly kind of sad. Based on this message, this was obviously just somebody who was a big fan of this character and wanted to share their work of this character. And the phrase, please forgive me for having kept silent up until now, seems to imply to me that this person was definitely affected in some way by the cancel culture that was brought upon them by the person who made the call out post. So all around, this is just an L situation. The person who made the call out had serious backlash, and this artist was bullied off the platform. Now, the person who made the call out has made an apology. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I took the post down. The note said this user made a big mistake confusing a real artist with AI and ended it with the artist being bullied and closing their account.
AI by definition is plagiarism. It is taking parts of the work. I don't know rules on art, but can't they argue it's transformative? And even so, I don't think laws can keep up with AI. I don't think laws are going to be able to keep up with AI. The government's always going to be slow with it. The government is a bunch of old fucks that don't understand any of it. So they're not going to do anything. Oh, yeah, there are no laws that apply to AI. Same thing with crypto. There's no laws for crypto. Yeah, the government always is going to be so slow with it, especially in the things that matter the most.
Which is, again,
and it's always too late when they actually take action. That's why we're gonna all be fucked by AI by time they actually do something.
I can understand.
They're like, okay, we have to do something
now.
Made
an apology even in Japanese to address the Japanese artist. I am the biggest idiot. I'm so sorry for making such a stupid claim with no basis. I am ashamed that I ruined something you obviously love. What you made is amazing. I say again, I am so sorry. Best of luck. And they've also made a bunch of apology drawings for the artist. I incorrectly accused an artist of using AI with a scathing, terrible draw over of their Mitsuri art. The account closed shortly after. Now, personally, I wanted to do my research. I wanted to see why this person decided to make an AI call out in the first place and why everyone else was so convinced that it was not AI. So I did my research. I Googled the original artist, and this was the only image that would come up that shows something very similar to what I saw of this artist's work. Now, if I just zoom in here, personally, I do not see anything that jumps out at me that screams this was made by AI. I would be very convinced that this was actually a drawing and that this person is actually an artist who does draw. But what's interesting to me is that I then came across this post. You know what's extra funny? I decided to look into the art because the post looked familiar to me. Turns out that was the whip. Hold up. What are you talking about? As you can see in this finished product, a lot of those mistakes have been fixed up. Always do research, Twitter users, and that's exactly what I'm doing. All right, so this is where things get a little bit funny. Okay, take a look at this piece right here. All right, beautiful piece. It does fix the mistakes, right? The hands seems to be better. The hips now connect to the right point. The neck, the shoulder.
Or if there was any AI involved, maybe they used AI to help fix up a sketch they did. I don't know.
Everything is now connected. Again, full disclaimer, I don't know if this person who posted this is just pulling this out of their butt or if this is actually from the artist. So take everything with a big grain of salt, okay? If you compare this piece to what was supposed to be the sketch, from an artist's perspective, this sketch has way more advanced shape language and way more advanced flow. Personally, if I saw this, I would assume that an artist with a lot of experience has made this piece. Whereas with something like this, even though yes, it corrects all of the mistakes, it still appears to me like the shape language and the flow and the pose of the character just comes from an artist with a little bit less experience. And this person actually did a little bit more digging like me as well. And again, I am not sure if this is actually from the original artist or if this is just made by somebody else. So take all of this with a huge grain of salt. I don't even know if this is from the same artist, but looking at a piece like this, the rendering on the iris and the rendering on the pupil, as well as the smudging out of the highlight, these are just not marks that an artist would normally make. And even here on the corner of the eye, you can see how it flares out into some of these.
That little piece of green hair, and I don't know, there's a few weird things maybe.
Don't seem to make as much sense. Look at how the eyelash pushes up the shape of the double eyelid. So again, there's a lot of elements here that would suggest to me that this is a little bit sus. And then if you look at the hair here, again,
that right there, you see that right there? That's a bit weird.
Rendering
because light, it would either be there's light on this side or there's light on this side, because their light source is not going to do that. It's not going to be on this side and this side.
Just screams AI. It's smudged, it's smooth, it's got this very uncanny look to it. But still, I personally don't know where this person got these images from, and I also just personally cannot confirm or deny that they're made with AI. And as of right now, that is the full extent of this artist's work that I could find. So you guys can make up your own mind. Me personally, I feel like if these pieces did actually belong to that artist, then they might have used AI as a part of their process to come up with poses and ideas, but I'm quite sure that they actually drew. They were actually an artist as well. This is the issue here. Look, even after all this digging, I still can't be 100% sure whether this person did use AI or not, and nobody can be. But all of that, while very confusing, is besides the point. It doesn't matter what an artist chooses to do. If this person chooses to use AI to make their work, to come up with ideas, that might go against you and my values, but that's their choice. Just because they might have chosen to do this thing that we disagree with doesn't give any of us the permission to go out there and call them out and harass them off of the platform. I really like this message personally. Even if it was AI, this was unnecessary. It's already hard enough being an artist. We don't need to rip people to shreds. The people who are personally offended over AI art seriously need to lighten up. I'm fine with people who are against it and understand why, but it shouldn't lead to bullying or being bothersome to people, especially if you can't tell. Just ask and encourage them to draw if you actually care. This person said, usually I ask the AI to draw these character concepts and designs for my novel, then I do pixel art or wait until I hire an artist or let people do art of something very, very similar to the character.
I think there's situations like that. I think AI can be great to be used for your thinking process of art. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore, but I used to do that for poses and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is a cool pose, because it's hard to think of a dynamic pose, and that way you're not just stealing a pose from someone else's work. It's like a mixture of everything, and then you switch it up too. I think it can be good to get your ideas together, what you want, but as long as you're not using it as your finished piece. And if someone asks, hey, did you use AI for this? You can say, yeah, I used it in my progress to get my ideas together. I'll openly say that. It's just hiding it is the icky part. And I think AI art, I don't know. I think it's going to be there no matter what. People are going to do it. But if people say it's AI, I've seen a lot of Twitter art where I see this in my timeline. I'm like, oh, this is really pretty. And I click the page and it says AI in the bio. They tell me it's AI. Okay, I don't like AI. I move on. Some people do like it. But it does take away from artists. It's stealing from artists. That's icky.
So whether you and I,
there's not much we can do about it.
There are a lot of artists out there who actually use AI in their workflow. So they come up with something like this, which is AI generated. Again, if you just saw this, how would you know? Literally, how would you know? Now, since the original artist was a Japanese artist, they obviously live in an Asian culture. And Asian cultures are very, very high standard, very perfectionist. So they might have felt trapped in a way. They might have genuinely felt the need to use AI to come up with ideas so that their drawings don't look bad. And that's just an unfortunate part of a lot of Asian cultures, and that's why a lot of artists in Asia have a really tough time. Again, a few points here, okay? Number one, we simply cannot know what is real and what is not. So if you see something that makes you feel a little bit suspect, you can just click not interested on this post.
Exactly.
And the algorithm will show you less of that. You don't have to see it. And if you really, really care, just reach out to the artist. Ask them to see if they have any process videos uploaded anywhere. Your suspicions could very easily be confirmed in the DMs, you know, by actually communicating with the artist instead of just going straight to the internet and trying to get this person canceled. And the second point, and this is more so for the art community, for the art babies, for the people who see this kind of stuff happening and get really scared of it. I've got this one trick that is absolutely amazing that'll shut anybody up who tries to call you out on this stuff. Okay, just record your process. I personally
exactly what I was saying. Record it. Record it. I don't like recording, so I used to take screenshots. I'm at the point, though, my art's not that great. You can tell it's human. I don't even do it. I've never been called out. But as you get better and better, people are going to be like, this is so good. And they're going to think it's AI. Take screenshots if you don't like being recorded. I know when I used to record time lapses, I'd be like, oh god, I did an ugly line, people are gonna see this. So it'd tweak me out.
Almost all of my drawings, and I upload them to my Patreon, so people have access to them and they can see them being painted from start to finish, along with the reference photos that I used. And if you don't want to record every single painting,
oh my god,
just record a few here and there so that you have this thing that you can just bring out anytime somebody tries to accuse you of something. It's an instant shut your mouth card.
Shut your mouth!
And I understand that sometimes some people don't like recording their process because they feel like somebody is watching them. There's a lot of
He's saying exactly what I'm saying!
added pressure.
Oh,
so
sorry, my mouse was
people,
there.
Don't worry, you can also just screenshot your process. Take some screenshots of the
exactly.
sketches,
take your whips.
Screenshots of your color
take your whips.
and then take some screenshots at like equal intervals throughout the rest of your rendering process. And I guarantee you, no one's gonna give.
And if someone does still complain, why does it matter? Oh well, you have proof. I do my art outside and usually half naked. I am not straight. What does that mean? What?
Crap for this. And I'm really glad this post got so much attention, because now these call out people will probably think twice before they do something like this again, before they assume someone is guilty before they're even proven guilty. But regardless of that, they're still going to exist, okay? There's just always going to be people out there who want to bring others down, so it never hurts to do something to protect yourself. And truly just be honest, you know, if you did use AI in your process, just say it.
Exactly!
I might be a little bit turned off by that.
Oh my god, such a W vid.
Feelings, everybody works in a different way. You might do something I disagree with, and I might do stuff that you don't agree with. But we can still coexist, and we might even be able to be friends. Now, the third point that I want to make about this whole situation is that the cancel culture that exists in the art community is stupid. And I'm talking to everybody, okay? Anybody who's ever tried to...
Yeah, and Leon too just said if you have the original file, you can just be like, here's my Clip Studio Paint file, my Photoshop file, all my layers are here.
Cancel an independent artist for drawing something that they don't agree with, you can go and shove my slipper up your butt. Now, this person here made a post addressing the whole situation, and there's some very harsh words here, so I'm not going to read that. This piece of poop accused an actual artist of using AI simply because the person didn't know who they were, and it was too good, but also not at all. This loser who feels the need to
does that say a word that's very bad? That's crazy.
Art led to that person deleting their account. Who are you sorry to, you scumbag? You aren't sorry at all. You revel in your poopy little cancel culture.
Poopy little cancel culture.
Along with people like you, love
stay woke, sheeple.
This has happened for far too long. Artists draw the wrong thing, the wrong ship, and now they get
people are way too comfortable being assholes online. Oh
the
yeah,
wording
for
here
sure.
is a bit too harsh for my taste, but you get the point.
Yeah,
she addresses this cancel culture problem in the art community really, really well. And even though this situation is related to an artist using AI, I think it extends way beyond that. If you're a new artist, you just want to share your stuff online, you should not be afraid of drawing the wrong thing, and then suddenly you're just besieged, you're just dogpiled by these people who just want to harass you. The bottom line is, and this applies to everybody, stop policing people's art. Just let people draw what they want, let people draw how they want, and if you don't like something, you don't agree with something, you can simply tell the algorithm that you're not interested, you don't want to see anymore, or you can go ahead and block them. You know, you don't need to go out of your way to try to dogpile people and try to harass them to get them off the platform.
I feel it coming,
because they're doing something that you disagree with. And in this case, there's not even proof. Like, imagine this in a real life scenario. If somebody was just giving out life sentences to people before they can even prove their crime, that would be highly dystopian. And that's exactly what happens with this type of cancel culture within the art community. So that's just kind of a rant for me, because I know a lot of people get scared by that stuff and they don't share their work because of that. And you know what? In this day and age, with this AI stuff flooding all these platforms, I would love personally to see more human work. And one final point that I want to make,
guilty till proven innocent, is a dystopian future
for all of us artists in this community to just be decent human beings to one another.
Be
I mean,
nice
seriously,
to each other,
we have enough things going against us as is, you know? Like, just think about all the tech bros out there who want to automate creativity and just ripping away.
When I was going through my doomer phase, I don't know if you guys saw, I would interact with a lot of negative things on Twitter. You're like, what? This is stupid. I need to say something. But you will find so much inner peace and happiness by looking at it. Ah, this person's dumb, but oh well, let them be dumb. Move on. Just move on. There's no need for me to waste my energy on this when I could be putting that energy in my own work or much more positive ways. And it makes you look bad.
The one thing that humans love to do instead of automating things that are actually tedious and genuinely dangerous. Like, we've got bigger problems, all right? Stop fighting each other.
Exactly.
Look at that. I just created world peace. But yeah, honestly, guys,
World
this is just a
peace.
horrible situation all around. The person who made the original accusation is also now getting so much hate. And I read through some of those comments, and some people were like wishing very bad things on that individual. And I don't
think that's good either. All the people that are like, fuck you! Shit! To the person who called it out. Yeah, they were stupid and rash, but they're probably a kid is a thing too. A lot of people that call it out are probably very young and new to art, and they're like, oh, AI art. They just want some attention from it probably too. But I don't know. I don't think death threats or anything are okay. They made a mistake. They said sorry. I saw on Twitter how they said sorry too. They were kind of sewer slide. We're going down a slide in a sewer. They're kind of baiting with that. I don't think, I don't know. Maybe they could have felt that way from all the hate, but it felt icky. Don't focus on the bad stuff I did. I feel this way. I don't know. But I don't think they deserved all the hate they got. It was bad what they did, but some people were horrible even after they said sorry. I don't know.
Any mistake warrants that. Like, if
Just
you're
move
out
on.
here
It
wishing
happened.
harm on that person who made the accusation, like, are you really any better? Come on.
Exactly.
Like, you're contributing to the L's all around. It's just to the whole L situation. Anyways, guys, just my 2 cents on this situation and the current state of cancel culture. It's so stupid. If you can't definitively prove that somebody is guilty of something, don't make stupid accusations. And to the babies out there, protect yourself, okay? Record your process. Don't let this kind of BS happen to you too. And also, guys, please don't be afraid.
What was my take? Oh yeah, this video has left me, like, when I saw it on Twitter, I'm like, this is a real artist. But afterwards, that lighting thing, I'm like, maybe it was AI. That's the thing. If we don't know, don't call shit out. No one knows. We're just speculating on either side. I don't think either side should have got hate. I think both sides should have been quiet. They should have just blocked them and moved on. And if they were an AI artist, it eventually would have come out. Injustice.
I got your back. All right? I'll make a
He
video
got
about
us.
you. Because you know what? I love you guys. I genuinely think we have the best community here.
I
I'm
love
always
you
happy
too.
to be here. I always feel safe around.
Beautiful video by Sam Does Art. Thank you. W Takes. Blah! If you like this video, you should come hang out with me on Twitch and watch it live every day but Monday. Up there, see that? Click that. Click that. That'll bring you there. Click it. I'll see you there. Thank you. Mwah. And if you didn't click it, I'll get you next time. Blah!